And for me, when I'm in during the inside access meetings I have on Mondays, right? One of the big things I like to focus and I emphasize on, and for people who watch, is not the actual breakout. When we're breaking ranges, I like to study and highlight what happens before the stock breaks out or breaks down. Jackie's seen that. She's been in the meeting. She's been in the office. That's one of the most important things, and that's one of the core things that we see here, just not taking a blind breakout, but understanding how the stock is breaking out, consolidating below the breakout zone before it's supposed to break. Those are like some of the best breakouts after something's touched a couple of times, hasn't quite broke out yet, comes back a little bit later in the day, consolidates really tightly by that zone, and then breaks. So it's really important for your muscle memory, right, to be able to do that. Because what happens is when you get in that scenario, right, you see the trade and like, oh, I saw this in the tape from 2 weeks ago. I saw this Tesla breakout and got up at 300 or 360, right? It was very similar to what I saw in some of the quantum stocks or GTI. So it's really, really important that each and every person study the tape. It's a core example. I mean, a very core principle, I should say, of trading and building your playbook. Trade risk setup percentages, okay? This is extremely important. For your A+ trades, normally those are gonna take place maybe 3 to 5 times a year, sometimes 2 in a year in itself. Depending on the market cycle and what's going on, sometimes you might get 1 in itself, maybe 2. But these instances, very rare, right? Highest conviction setups. And again, you have to have your playbook in your archive that's built out. And for me, I would say, honestly, for you to have a playbook, right, you need to have probably about 50 to 100 sample size. And how you can do that, not just going by equities, you can go, as I said, by crypto, you can do futures, right, to help build that out. But just going back to this here, as far as these A+ setups, max risk deployment on these setups. And I'm gonna show you in a later slide how this kind of ties in as far as with these A+ and A setups, okay? Max risk deployment is warranted. And these type of opportunities, the trader should be risk-seeking. You should be seeking risk. You should be seeking risk. These are the opportunities that we're looking for. This is where, again, why are we trading? Why are you trading? Why do you trade? Why are you trading? You enjoy it. It's rewarding, right? It's rewarding, right? Jake, why are you trading? Pay it forward, right? Pay it forward, helping other people, and they can help you do other things, right? Right? So that's why a lot of people here, of course, they love to win. We have a lot of gamers here, and we love to win, but you also be compensated for it. In these type of events, you have to be risk-seeking. You cannot fear these setups. It may feel like the stock is punching you if you're wrong, but again, you cannot fear these setups, okay? You should be risk-seeking these opportunities. For your A setups, you should be using about 25% risk, and in some cases, if you're very rare, as I said, 50 to 100% of your risk you should be seeking. In your A setups, about 25%. Those happen maybe about 1 to 2 months as far as frequency-wise. Your B+ setups, maybe once per week. Your B setups, you're risking about 5%. And you can see here how you're exponentially sizing, right? Where you're from your A+ trades, you're risking maybe 100% of your stop, sometimes even more multiples, depending on that as far as the setup. And then with your B trades, and this is why it's so important to have it organized here, where you're losing the least amount in these setups. So this is why you have to use discretion. You cannot go into each trade with the same amount of risk. You cannot. You just can't do that, because what's gonna happen is either on the end of the month, if you're going in with the same amount of risk for every trade, what's gonna happen is you're gonna either end up negative, right?